Hello everyone, and welcome to another Kev Play. This is Kevin, and we are on we're on The Last of Us Part 2, episode 58. Uh, Playing a little bit more No Return. I'm kind of just like enjoying the idea of just like playing this, as much. We haven't beat it yet, and supposedly there is trophies for No Return, by the way. Um, which I don't know what my progress is on them. I'd have to check, but there's a good amount of trophies to earn here, which is cool. I figure get another episode in. Um, get right into like a new run, moderate. I think we'll just stick with Ellie. Do we have? We do have skins for her, right? Yeah, we unlocked this skin last time. Let's apply that at least, just so we can have some sense of us progressing in some sense. Okay. Yeah, we'll go with Ellie. We have Dina. Stick with Ellie. All right. Another moderate run. Hello, Pelpa Pig. How are you? Going for another episode of this. Yes.
Right.
Yes, I've seen the latest episode. Nice. I figured I'd give you another day just to let. Plus, I wanted to let the last episode breathe a little. Um, but I figured I'd give you some time to watch it. I guess we'll just go right into this. We'll just jump right in to shipping yard. Before we get into it, though, just some. I did forget to say this last time that I have been playing Clear H Wave. Okay, Assault. Oh, it's foggy. Another game I was playing as of recently, pretty random. I mean, not random, but maybe not as interesting, but it's kind of interesting to me. Is ever since like, um, you said I'm on mobile data right now because the internet ain't working. Oh shit.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't like it. Internet issues suck. Thankfully, I'm on a wired connection. I always make sure my internet connection is good before I start a broadcast. I'm on a little bit low battery watching this chat, but it's good enough. It'll last us for the episode. That wasn't good. Oh my god. Oh please. Oh, it's not gonna let me squeeze through that. Hold on. Yeah, that wasn't my best wave there, but at least I got through it. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, baseball season's upon us, so I wanted to play a little MLB 15 The Show, as in recently, and I've been playing this mode that I'd never played before. It's called Road to the Show. And it's basically like you start off as just like a nobody who's going through like the scouting system, and you create your character. Like I created myself as I can. Oh, that's cool that they put a workbench here in the middle of the match. I created like a character for myself, and basically you're following yourself. It's almost like a career mode for yourself where you're not playing like the team baseball game. You're playing it through the perspective of just one player, and you're trying to make it. You're basically trying to make it from being a nobody to going through like the scouting system, getting scouted onto a AA team, and then playing on a AA team, and then eventually, hopefully, get drafted onto a Major League Baseball team. Which in my hope, it would be for the Mets. So right now, I've made it to like the AA team, which is like the Binghamton Mets. and it's interesting because you don't have to play the entire game. You can. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. There we go. Oh, you said be right back. Yeah, go for it's okay. I'll just talk. But basically, like, you can play the MLB 15 the show, Road to the Show, and you're basically just playing your at bats, and you can like fast forward to the next time you're at bat, or the next time that the ball comes to you when you're playing the field. So you can get through a game rather quickly. You're just basically like getting points for your own performance throughout the game, and then you can use those points to like upgrade your skills, which is kind of cool. After each time, like you basically like if you perform good, you get like positive points. But if you do bad, then you get negative points. And by bad, I mean like making like an error or striking out. There we go. First encounter done. Should probably craft health kit. We're good. Returning to hideout. Nice. Oh, get ammo as much as we can. It's interesting that they put a tool bench here in the middle of the match. I think that's the first time we've noticed that. I don't know if every map is like that, but pretty interesting. Okay, nice B. Oh, complete 5 gambits, we get character Marlene. I think Marlene was a recently added character from like through DLC, free DLC. I believe Marlene and Bill were part of that like patch. So that's cool. Okay, let's gather what we got here. And let's use this. We'll do what we usually do. Let's get the fire rate going. And then everything else is good. Well, for now it's good. And let's see what we can buy. We can get a shotgun. That would actually come in helpful, I think. Let's get that. And then... yeah, let's get the Molotov, because we can always craft more health kits if we get more stuff. I like the idea of having Molotovs on hand. Pulpit Pig's back. And last but not least, let's get improved Molotovs. I think that's all we can do. Or we got more, okay. Yeah, improved health kits. Cool. We'll go with that. But yeah, that's all I was really playing. Like that's the only thing I forgot to mention last time is how I've been playing that. I was playing that last night. It's a lot of fun. I don't know if you like, and it's cool. Like I don't know if you were here for it, but like basically when you can fast forward through your plays. Like you can go to your next at bat. You don't have to sit through the entire game. So like you can just like skip to your next at bat or skip to your next fielding opportunity where the ball comes to you, and then the game judges you on how well you perform in those situations. But and then after the game ends, then you get points, and you can use those points to apply to like upgrades, like your skill kind of like a skill tree. Well, not a skill tree, but like I guess stats. Like you're adding like stat points, like certain things that you choose, which is cool. There's kind of like this like cool progression to it that I've never played with an MLB game or any sports game actually. But yeah. Let's go to the brewery. See what that's about. But other than that, that's all I've been doing. But yeah, so this first premiere episode of season 2 has aired. It's called Future Days from The Last of Us. Written directed by Craig Mazin, who's the creator and showrunner. Well, co-showrunner with Neil Druckmann, but Craig Mazin, who is, who did the first season and also is the creator of Chernobyl from HBO. He's no stranger to TV. I think he did a good job adapting this first episode. There's some differences. Oh my god, I'm surrounded. Whew. Alright. There's like 3 of them. 4 of them, actually. Oh, but I'm being hunted.
Don't let her escape!
I hear footsteps around me, but I don't know where you are. Yeah, this first episode I liked a lot. Let me just get through this wave before I continue. Okay. You say, well, I gotta say, it's definitely a good start. Yeah. One of the main questions I was wondering going in was Joel going to bite the big one in the first episode? And that wasn't the case. I think it was a good idea not to. Kind of give the audience some, even for those who don't know what's going to happen, give them a sense of like a base to start with, where it's like, okay, this is Joel, this is how he is in season 2. We're getting to know like refamiliarize with the character, where he's at coming off of last season. One of the differences is they use the therapist, played by Catherine O'Hara, who kind of plays the role of Tommy as kind of an alternate scene, where, because in the game it's Joel who's telling Tommy, Tommy's like, oh Jesus, what the hell happened? What did you do? And then Joel says, I saved her. In the series, he's telling it to the therapist, and he's been going to the therapist, and he's kind of basically trying to get, he's trying to he's in this like kind of rough patch with Ellie, and you can chalk that up to, like, seemingly you can chalk that up to, like, any 19-year-old girl and their father is going to, they're all, that father-daughter relationship is always a little not as happy-go-lucky as it is when they're younger. They're in their teenage years. They kind of want to, branch off and not be like, smothered by their parental figure. That's normal. But we know that it's different with Ellie and Joel. We know from playing the game, but I don't know if it's exactly clear yet. But we know that, one of the biggest things that, or one of the biggest, the big ending to the first game or the first season is that Ellie kind of swallows the lie that Joel tells, and she accepts it. And this is 5 years later, and regardless if she's aware of it or not, subconsciously there's something going on. Um, and it's interesting that Catherine O'Hara is a therapist. She calls Joel out. And there's kind of a development where it's like he's done stuff. He's responsible for her husband's death, which is interesting. Kind of a way to paint to the audience, for both television audience and the game audience, that Joel has done bad things and it affects people. Um, and that's obviously what's going to catch up to him in the game, but it's also what we are already seeing catching up to him in the show, where they introduce Abby and her crew. One of the differences being, though, that it seems that we have a better idea that um, why Abby's uh, why Abby's after Joel. Whereas in the game, we are introduced to Abby, and we have kind of this like vague sense that she's a little disturbed. There's something that happened. They're trying to catch up to a smuggler or something. We don't know why. Whereas with the show, which is kind of a different um, a different approach to how they're telling the story, is that we see that Abby and the crew are basically mourning the Fireflies, and even television audiences will catch on that this is pertaining to the hospital that Joel has shot up. So with Abby being introduced like that, and us kind of having an idea of why she's doing this from the start, whereas in the game it was kind of slowly spoon-fed to us as to what her deal is. Now we don't have the fullest context yet as to how impactful her desire to get Joel is. I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it is an interesting thing, because that was kind of one of the things that made the second game so surprising. Um, but I don't know. Maybe there's a different way to execute the story by making this creative decision in the storytelling. So I'm like not considering it a criticism. I'm just considering it a difference, and we'll see how it pans out. And obviously, we'll always be able to compare and contrast between the game and the show. But so far, other than that, between like everything that's being established at Jackson, we meet Dina, uh, and everything pretty much is like very well adapted in my opinion. Like I didn't get to see what you were saying. You said I feel like that will happen in one of the later episodes. So yeah, honestly, I'm thinking the Joel moment might be happening in the next episode. If I was to guess, I think if you're gonna go bold and still be surprising, you don't do it in the first episode, but you do in the second. And then Pedro Pascal being cast, I think he's so, just like in the game, Joel is a very important part of the story, and I think he'll be there in flashbacks and whatnot throughout the. But I don't know. I could be wrong. There could be a completely different direction the show's going in, or it's just going to be. Honestly, if I was a betting man, it's going to be very faithful to what happens in the game. And I think honestly, I would rather see them double down what happens in the game to really drive home the importance of why it needed to happen. Because in my opinion, like I always said, if it wasn't Abby, it's going to be someone else. Like the consequences are going to catch up to you. Joel has like like exponentially ruined so many lives. Not to say he was in the right, like I'm like whether he's in the right or the wrong for why he did that. That's another debate. But he did do what he did on an exponential level. So if it wasn't Abby, it was going to be someone else that would have eventually caught up to him. Like that's just the way the world works. Like consequences will catch up to you. You said if that happens, I can't wait to see the internet reaction. Yeah, because I'm wondering how it's going to be. I'm wondering how the TV audience is going to take it. I wonder how much of the TV audience. When I say the TV audience, I mean that the part of the Venn diagram of people who have not played the game and are completely like living under a rock as to what happens. I'm wondering what will happen. Did Pedro Pascal's Joel make that much of an impact on them compared to Troy Baker's Joel did for us on the game, like us in the game? So you said also, dude, Bella Ramsey. One of the big things with this that I'm kind of like, it's for me, I think it's unfortunate to see is how people are attacking the actress for how she's portraying how on her acting ability, on the casting of her, her on her performance of portraying Ellie. I don't know why I feel it's so hard for a lot of people, but I am completely compartmentalizing that this is a different version. I'm not expecting Bella Ramsey to mimic all the intricacies and every little nuance that what's her name? I'm blanking on Ellie's on Game Ellie's actress. On what she gave to the role versus what Bella Ramsey's given to the role. Yes, I know Bella Ramsey isn't like the Hollywood ideal of like this like beautiful woman cat. Like first of all, I do think she's beautiful in her own right, but like I'm not saying, but like you know what I mean, like the way like a Hollywood network executive would be like, we need someone who is like who's like a drop dead knockout of to play this part, and she needs to be like easy on the eyes and all that. And it's like I don't get hung up on like aesthetics like that and looks and stuff like that. For me, she's a teenage girl first of all, so for a lot of like grown men to be like complaining about this on the internet, it's just kind of like cringy to me. Um, but I get it at the same time. I get that some people will have a little bit trouble to of like making that compartmentalization of like, oh, this is who they cast, this is the Ellie. It's the same thing when they like right now the Harry Potter TV show cast a black actor to play Severus Snape. Again, why do like the books are there, the films are there. Why do you care so much that another version of the story is changing the physical appearance on a character so much? I For me, I'm not saying you. I mean like you in the royal you. Um, and the same thing with like Caitlyn Dever not being like a muscle bound Abby. I don't need her to be a muscle bound Abby. The game did that version. This is a different version, and they can still convey the same ambitions and her bloodlust and desire to kill or to get revenge in the same way without it having to be completely dependent on, not completely dependent, but like the physical appearance of Abby lending itself to how much she wants to get to Joel or whatever. Let me read what you're saying. I'm sorry. Bella Ramsey is a great actor. She's awesome, but I still need more of her. To see more of her. Uh, oh God, what next? The Black Harry Potter or Black Hermione? See, yeah, it's like, but like for me, Severus Snape, as important of a character as Severus Snape is in Harry Potter, it doesn't bother me that they would race swap him in the show. For me, and I'm a Harry Potter fan. I just don't care. If they did it with Harry Potter, maybe that's something else because now you're changing. I don't know because maybe there's a difference because it's the protagonist and you're changing basically the background of your protagonist like in such a it's like I don't know, skin color doesn't matter in terms of how a character of who they are or whatever, obviously, but at when you do that with like say like a main character, it does feel a little like you're making a statement or so, or you're trying to challenge audiences rather than entertain them. You know, I don't know. It if it was a more like anthological series, say like James Bond, and say there was like a James Bond, a black James Bond, I don't think that would matter that much because how many James Bonds are there to begin with? You can't handle a black James Bond. But I don't know. I don't know. Like, and this is coming from someone who is white. So, and like, I'm not a person of color, but yeah, like just the swapping of it, it feels like a statement when you do that. But I guess that's not a fair comparison to Bella Ramsey though, because Bella Ramsey is just, you know, it's just not of the likeness of Ellie. She's, but she is the race. But I don't know. It's such a heavy-handed um topic. But for me, just to reel back, it's I don't care that much that Bella isn't the exact same personality type or the physique or um the likeness of the game Ellie at all. For me, I'm trying to watch it in the lens of this is a different version. In the same way that like Stephen King doesn't like the Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Stephen King wrote The Shining, but the book and the film are completely different from each other. But I know that for me, that's like proof to me that you can still have completely different adaptations from one another, but they can still be classics in their own right. So I'm trying to approach uh, the show with Bella Ramsey as without the bias of having played the game and being so married to the game, where I can't accept that there can be a different version. I, I don't know. Like I separate I'm trying to watch it through the lens of just separating myself from all that, especially when the internet is so makes it so easy not to want to jump on the bandwagon of that thought process because the toxicity and the knuckle dragging behavior of a lot of grown grown adults online that are bashing her over this, I think it's just like it's insufferable to me. Um, and it takes away from what is supposed to be to me like the Last of Us to me offers so much substance that to get hung up on something so trivial like this, um, it it just feels counterproductive and not fun. I want to engage in the actual meat and potatoes of the story and what it has to offer rather than that. But at the same time, what I do agree with, my friend brought this up, where he watched the dance scene between Dina and Ellie, and he doesn't like Bella Ramsey as Ellie. He's not a fan of it. So me and him disagree in terms of that. But I do agree with him in the sense that when you copy a scene almost beat by beat from one adaptation to another, you are kind of losing a sense of spontaneity and natural chemistry that would happen with the new actors, because you're basically just piggybacking on what happened, even though the even though the writing is what is driving the scene, it's the script that's the same. um Sometimes an actor's performance or even their likeness can dictate how you might direct, or how you might approach the direction or the execution of how a scene is written, or presented. So to for people to have trouble seeing a scene being beat by beat the same, and it's in a complete, but it's with like a completely different set of actors, and they're not really giving off the same vibe that you would have that you already have in your head from one original version. I get that that's a little it runs the risk of a scene being very static and rigid and not breathing naturally. Um, but obviously, this show is going to have, that's where the show's going to have its differences, where you might get those moments of spontaneity where this is Bella Ramsey's version of it, or this is Pedro Pascal's version of how this goes down, that it's going to be a little different. Um, but I get it. It's like I'm of two minds when it comes to this. But at the same time, for the most part, overall, I can tune out all the noise, because I know a lot of it is just a lot of crybaby nitpickiness over looks and stuff like that, or people having already made the decision that they don't like what they're seeing, so they're not going to give it a fair shot. But at the same time, that's not to say that there are people who have valid criticisms of you know of what's happening, or what, not to say you're wrong necessarily if you don't like the decision of the casting or anything. But for me, the toxicity of a lot of people are so daunting and loud that I kind of have to tune out that criticism, um, or at least tune out just the I don't know, just the meanness of it, that just takes away from the enjoyment of the show. From as time goes on, maybe I would agree in a sense after all is said and done with certain things, but from now I'm just trying to, like, for me, what's most important is that they're nailing the beats of what makes this story the story, and so far I think they're successful with that. Um, you said, what if we take a character like CJ from GTA and make him white? That's I wouldn't want that, because GTA San Andreas is CJ's story, and it's very much ingrained in like black culture, and that life, you couldn't just have a white person doing that scene, because it would feel disingenuous. Um, but yeah, he said also that scene where Ellie got called a lesbian slur and Joel pushes the guy down is awesome. I love that scene. Yeah, played like, and I saw some comparison scenes of that, and it's like, as identical as it is, it still felt awesome in both. I thought that scene was great. And it's definitely setting up for what's to come, with how Ellie is kind of she's kind of over Joel's bullshit of how he's trying to always control the situation or save her, or it, every time he tries to save her, and the TV audience doesn't notice that yet, but you can tell that she's just reminded of the lie that she has to swallow, that she probably might or may not know by now, but I'm pretty sure we know that she knows by now, that Joel, robbed her of, um, robbed her of a sense of purpose. with the whole, sacrificing herself for the greater good. But yeah, uh, so far I'm liking the episode a lot, and I'm looking forward to what's next. I'm looking forward to getting more of Abby too, with Caitlin Dever's performance, because I like Caitlin Dever a lot. Like, she was in Curb Your Enthusiasm. I liked her there. I liked her in Uncharted 4. Um, I still wonder if Caitlin Dever is going to be in like a new Uncharted game if they ever do a spinoff. Um, but I'm looking forward to what's next. And also, by the way, that scene where Ellie and Dina go into like the little warehouse by themselves, and they're kind of like um, doing like you know a quiet like motioning of what their plan's gonna be, and they're like doing like these hand signals and stuff. That was a funny comedic moment. I like that. Like that made me a little bit. That put me on board with the two characters that we're being introduced to here. Even though I know that they are being very hasty going in there alone, and that they definitely, it was intentional that they're being overly confident. They think they're like, big shots. But then that's when we're introduced to the stalker, infected, which is smarter and can strategically, prey on like human passerbys, and they strategize and they hide, and they run away if they have to. They don't just, it's not like it's just like a zombie that just runs straight at you without any thought. Like, I like that. Like, they're basically, the show is basically just like the game, showing that a after a certain amount of time, the infected are starting to become a little bit more evolved, um, which is interesting. And I thought that scene was cool. You said, "Oh boy, we are going to be in for a wild ride." Yeah, definitely. I think this, and I forget how long the season is. I think they said 7 episodes, which is, in my opinion, I know it's not going to be the entire game's worth, but it's still I a little short to me. But at the same time, I think the game is a little longer than it should be. Um, like, I get that the game is long in the sense of like, there's definitely important beats that are more important than I thought of my first time playing the game. That I now know is like, okay, this part is actually, necessary. This is necessary, but there is a sense of like them drawing a lot of things out, and I think part of that was to like really make the revenge story feel very unsatisfying, intentionally, because revenge is not like this like storybook thing where it's like everything's tied in a neat bow and you're gonna get your revenge and you're gonna love it and or whatever. It was to show how arduous and draining it was for all the characters, and the impact it has on them. So for the show to be shorter, even for a half season or like season 2, because we already know season 3 was renewed. Um, I just hope that they can, because again, season 1 of The Last of Us, I had some issues with the pacing a little towards the end. There's definitely an episode in particular I feel they really rushed through it, even though I feel it was good. To me, it's like good, not great. But season 1 as a whole was fine, was really good. And I think great overall. But there are some pacing issues in that season 1 that I was like, eh. So, but now them doing season 2, I'm interested to see how they kind of pace it, um, and make it not just make sense every beat of it, but make it feel resonant and impactful and emotional. So, but I have faith. I feel like it went a bit too quick at the end of The Last of Us season 1. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It felt like they were rushing to the finish line a bit. There's one scene in particular that I feel like was rushed, and that's the one where Ellie where Ellie overhears Joel saying that she's going to hand over Ellie to like Tommy or somebody for him to take her the rest of the way to the hospital. And in the game, Ellie runs away to the ranch, and Joel and Tommy catch up to her, and there's that scene in the bedroom where where Ellie says like, everyone in my life has abandoned me except for you. Um, that whole like the emotional beats of that in the show in that episode, I feel like they really forced it a bit. Um, Whereas the game felt had a lot more room to breathe with. Did I do anything here yet? I forget. I guess we can always use the shotgun for last resort. Let's use stability. You said, is it like in parts? I feel like it went a bit. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think The Last of Us Part Two in total, or at least the first part's supposed to be 7 episodes, from what I'm being told, or 7 or 8, I forget. But that's only the first half of The Last of Us Part Two, and then the season 3 is going to pick up in the next half. Basically, is what is what they were saying in like interviews or so. Guess I'll do recoil. Okay. What do I want? Stun bomb, trap mine. Let's get trap mine. And one more trap mine. Come in useful for infected. But other than that, I mean, what else is there to say? I think I like the casting of Dina. I like how they showed a scene between Dina and Joel, which we didn't get in the game. It was implied that Dina and Joel knew each other in the game, but we never actually saw a scene with them interacting with each other, other than like the dance scene where Joel pushes the homophobe down or whatever, but not like a dialogue scene between the two. So it was cool to get that. Oh yeah, so I can craft stuff from here. This is important because I keep not doing this when I need to. I keep needing to. I definitely need to remember to craft before going into a run. All right, let's get this. I think we're good. Okay, let's. Oh, I did the brewery. Okay, cool. I guess we'll do the hospital. Do you have anything else to say? We could move on to our Desert Island picks if you want. I think I said all I really have to say. Oh, what's this with this, like, cool, like, I feel like we're in, like... What's with this cool, like, art style here? This is, like, inverted levels. I thought it was a fine episode, got nothing else to say, okay. And feel free to disagree with anything I say. I'm not, like, trying to, there's no stupid opinions, but it's just a lot of, because I trust you, I trust your opinion. This feels like mirror mode, right? Because I know you, any criticisms you have isn't in bad faith. You said, nah, you made some really good points. Okay.
It's her! Right here!
Oh, there's a dog.
Oh my god!
Okay, okay. I like this art style, by the way. So yeah, our top... Hold on. Let me get past this last guy. Alright, this last guy's right here. Okay, cool.
Man.
Okay. So our top 10 Desert Island games for the 2010s. My top, or my number 10 was Bioshock Infinite, number 9 Grand Theft Auto 5, number 8 Horizon Zero Dawn, and number 7 Red Dead Redemption 2. Yours, which I have to pull up. Hold on. They're coming at me heavy here.
Move in!
She went into the grass!
She's gone!
Oh my god. I'm being surrounded.
Quick! She's around here somewhere!
I'm like, this dead body's in my way. Okay, hold on. Okay, while they look for me, your number 10 is Minecraft, number 9 is Grand Theft Auto 5, number 8 Sonic Generations, and number 7 Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. So I'll get into my number 6 after this lady goes to sleep.
You see her? Nothing over here. She'll fuck up eventually.
Hold on, let's make sure no one's around me. There's 2 more people.
You too. There you are!
Okay. New wave coming.
Right.
Hold on. Let's get this bat instead. Hopefully there's no more dogs. So my number 6, which I'll... Okay, we got more people. Hold on. You know what? Let me talk about it as soon as I'm done with this wave, because it's kind of like crazy to articulate and fight at the same time. Oh god, they're all closing. Oh, they all turned around as soon as I popped out. That's great.
Here! Over there!
Get 3 kills in rapid succession. Receive. Nice. That's what I wanted. I failed to do that last time. Oh, and there's a thing over here. Okay.
Out here! Take a bridge, with the area. Flush her out!
Fuck me.
Okay. All right, so I'll just start because there's only 2 people. I'll be able to manage. My number 6 is South Park: The Fractured But Whole.
Thought I saw her.
Second
Check it
game in the South Park kind of like 2D series that started in PS3 era. This game came out 2017. Whoa. It's the second game. I like that.
Nice try.
There we go. I like how, you know, the first game is the first game that came out in 2014 is turn-based. It's turn-based, whereas the other, what's it called? South Park: The Fractured Butthole is more it's turn-based, but on a, what's it called? You said, what I want to know is why over the stick of truth. Yeah, so I think I prefer the gameplay more of Fractured Butthole, where it's not just I'm forgetting the genre, because it's a turn-based RPG basically is the first one, whereas the second one is more of like you have your team with you, but you're on more of a grid where you're on like a chessboard almost. I prefer that, where I get to move. You basically get to move around more. Yeah, it's more tactical. The other game is also tactical, but this one is like, I just like how it's more strategic, with how you position your teammates on the map. Um, but plus the game just goes more bold. I feel with its I mean, the first game was very bold with its humor and its story and everything, but after Fractured Butthole, I like that you're like everything's kind of established already of what's going on. Even though you're changing genres, the first game was more like you're in like a fantasy setting. This one's more like superheroes. Um, you said I've been wondering why I haven't played any of these games yet. You honestly definitely recommend. It's a fun collectathon. You know, because you basically get to explore South Park in, you know, in the best way imaginable. Because being able to explore it, the fact that you're playing in the same aesthetic as the TV show, where you know, it's like the cardboard cutouts, even though it's like, you know, the digital versions. It's like playing the TV show. It's the one game where you are actually playing a TV show, like the TV show as the TV show presents itself. You know, you play Simpsons Hit and Run, which, you know, a great game, but that's not the aesthetics of The Simpsons. You know, but it would be hard to play the aesthetics of The Simpsons because of um, the way the animation lends itself. You know, South Park, the show, lends itself to the game's art style. Um, Character Marlene, collect 5 gambits. Complete 5 gambits. Okay. Cool. Um, so I like that game looks exactly like the show. Yeah, that's what I love about it too. And you would think that there would be some limitations for doing so, but it doesn't. It feels free in how you get to explore the map in like the open world, in how you get to explore the town of South Park in every way you would want to. Um, the way you get to interact with the different characters, it's a lot of fun. The story is such a jam, like so enjoyable. Like me platinuming the game, I think earlier last year was a treat because I got to play the game again. I played it on the hardest difficulty, which, you know, sometimes you play things on the hardest difficulty and it's like, oh god, am I even going to be able to do this? But no, like the game was actually like smart enough in being very challenging on a difficulty like that, but still being, because of its good level design and its good game design, it was manageable and fun. So being able to platinum the game was cool. I love Matt and Trey, as you know, they wrote the game too, which is what you want out of something like this. I think like their N64 South Park game, they didn't have any hand in writing at all, so it came off very, just not very South Park like. um, but this game is like it's like you can tell that they, especially since Matt and Trey are big video game fanatics, like they actually like play like like D&D, not just video games, but like actual like tabletop games like D&D and stuff. They're big on that type of stuff. So for them to write a story with while creating a while like contributing to uh the idea of a game version of what they're telling, of what their story is, or what what they're doing, it comes off very authentic, and you can tell that it's like a labor of love. Let's get the shotgun something. Stability, capacity, fire rate. That would be good. But yeah, and the game just does so many clever things that make it that really lend itself to a game, but also lends itself to a story that South Park would tell. It's perfect. In my opinion. I was late to the games. I didn't come to them till later on, but I'm glad that I did. And it definitely, in my opinion, during the 2010s, it offered a little variety. Because there is no other game like it that I've played in that era, in that decade that is like the South Park game. So I think they're very unique, and they're very fun. And at some point, I do want to revisit Stick of Truth and try to have my hand at trying to platinum it as well. But that's something I would have to do sometime down the road, maybe. But yeah, that's my number 6. I have not much else to say, but it's such a great, great like addicting gameplay loop. The soundtrack is awesome. It's very South Park, but it's also like original soundtrack too. So like original scoring. So it's like within the South Park universe, but you're hearing like some tunes in it that it's like, wow, this is actually pretty cool. Like video game. It's like great video game music, but also great South Park music. So yeah, it's just it immerses you in that world perfectly. Gameplay loop is a lot of fun, very addicting. Like I would love to play it again. And it's unique, and I just it's one of the best licensed games out there, I'd say. You said I'm gonna have to play these games someday. Yeah, I definitely recommend. But yeah, that's my number 6. How about you? What would you say is your number 6? Lead pipe, stun bomb, silencer recipe, long gun holster. Oh, a long gun holster would be cool. And let's get the silencer recipe. And can I get more? I think I'd rather have a lead pipe than a stun bomb. But I'm kind of just... I don't know, I shouldn't have done... Oh, whatever. I guess a lead pipe's better than... Okay, so we got a second thing for our gun holster. We did that, and let's just check our pills. Craft melee upgrades. Yeah, that's what we need. You said number 6, Super Mario Odyssey. That's the one where you're like, that's the one that came out, where like you're in like a real human world, right? Like a real human city, but like Mario is the same, basically, right? I'm pretty sure, right? Super Mario Odyssey. I remember when that came out. I never got to play it, obviously, but I do remember that particularly. I think that was 2016, I want to say. Am I wrong? Yeah, that's the one. I remember there being like criticism that I remember people being a little off-put by the concept of Mario being Mario in a realistic world with like humans walking around. But I kind of like the idea of it. It's experimental, and I I like that Mario kind of goes there sometimes. They're not afraid to like to stretch your imagination of where a Mario game can take you, I guess. Faster crafting would be good. 2017. Okay, yeah, that's right. So this game came out the same year as South Park: The Fractured Butthole, same as Horizon Zero Dawn. I remember it being like at the like it was at the Game Awards, I think. Wasn't it like nominated for like Game of the Year at the Game Awards? Correct me if I'm wrong. But tell me about it. Like, how is the platforming? Would you say like, and like like, is it basically open world? Is it similar to like a Super Mario 64 in spirit? Um, what would you say like kind of maybe makes the game fun or distinguished? I'd say, or more of the same that you like in a Mario game. Okay, so this is where okay, before we do anything, I should make sure my crafting is good. I think we're good though. I think we're all set. Okay, let's go forth. We have a choice: the hardware store or the forest. I kind of like the idea of the forest because Dina's with us. I'm like tempted to get a Switch at some point, but because I feel like I miss out on so many of these games. You said, yeah, it's pretty much Super Mario 64, but instead of jumping in paintings, you travel to other worlds using a spaceship called the Odyssey. Okay. But I guess it's basically, like you said, it's still like open world-ish. Or more like open world in the sense of like, I'm guessing maybe like how Spyro is open world in a way, but not, you know, it's like still like self-contained levels. Okay, I think they're all above us, and we're kind of burying ourselves deep in. What the heck are these people? Are they above us? And they're definitely people, they're not infected. Were there any other Mario games that came out, like mainline Mario games that came out during the 2010s? Because I remember Odyssey being a big one. I think the next one was Wonder, right? Wonder came like later on. These guys are, oh, they're all up here. Yeah. I keep getting like little points or something whenever I vault an obstacle. I don't know what that's about. Okay, this guy's above me. You said the gimmick is that Mario has this hat. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that hat. Yeah, it was like in a lot of the marketing of the game was the hat. He has the hat called Cappy, and you throw Cappy onto enemies to take control of them. Ah, that's interesting. Has any other game? I'm guessing no other game has done that, right? Where you're taking control of enemies like that. Okay, so we got a person below us, which is no bueno. Crash of the Titans. Well, yeah, Crash of the Titans, but I mean, like, has any other Mario game done that? But interesting. So Crash of the Titans came first, pretty much, in terms of like having that idea. They're coming at me. You get to play as a Goomba, a dinosaur, and even Bowser himself. That Bowser would be awesome.
No!
This guy's after me. That's cool. The only other game I remember playing that you can take control of other enemies, and basically it was one of your main forms of like getting through the level, was Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, or Oddworld any of the games I think, where you basically had to like use your telepathic powers to kind of like take control of enemies and like move them out of the way so that they're not like you know, you can either kill them or, you know, have them commit suicide or like, but that was more of a T for teen, like a little bit more of a mature game than Mario. But you said there was Mario 3D World, which came out into 2013. Okay. Oh, this is another wave, and I'm kind of out of sorts. Where are these people? There's people below us, but there's a ammo crate right here that I probably should get. How would you say is the music in this game? You said the soundtrack's great. There you go. Especially the jump ups. You said especially jump ups. Superstar, a song with lyrics. I feel like, yeah, if you're gonna have a game where like you're in the kind of a realistic setting, it's almost like very like Hideo Kojima to put in some like lyrical music. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Where's it? Okay, that's one. We can get this other one. Well, that's cool. Probably a nice change of pace with the soundtrack, having more lyrical stuff rather than just score. You said other than that, Mario controls really well, and that's my number 6. Okay. That's cool, number 6. A game that I would definitely play if I had the opportunity to. But alas, I have no Nintendo consoles. I think we got a guy above us. We got 3 guys left. Okay, so my number... First of all, who sees me? Who almost sees me? Oh, people over here, okay. Well, there's a guy like crouched behind this thing. What is my number 5? Oh, my number 5 is Killzone 3. Oh god. Killzone 3 was a big game.
Behind the car!
Oh god. Okay. Just had to get rid of those guys first. Yeah, so Killzone 3 was a big important game for me because it was the one of the first games that I went out to the store and bought after getting a PS3 because I was late to the PS3 era. I played Killzone 2 at a friend's house and I pretty much played it all the way up until like the last I pretty much beat it. And then, but I never owned Killzone 2, so I just went straight to Killzone 3 because I was like, at the time I didn't have a job, so I was like, I got to make whatever my next purchases count. And Killzone 3 was a lot of fun because it was cooperative. The campaign was co-op. You know, you can play it single player, but it was also co-op. It was very, like, it introduced, like, jetpacks. It had really cool snow environments. I played the entire co-op with my sister, which my sister had, like, no context to what the game even was. I mean, she knew. Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! I thought that was Dina here.
What the?
Hold on. She knew about Killzone 1 back in the day, but Killzone 1 wasn't co-op, and Killzone 1 was very rough for the time too. So she never found it visually appealing, the first Killzone, but Killzone 3 is like gorgeous. The graphics look almost similar to that tech demo that was showed in E3 for Killzone 2 that was proven later on to be like a CGI demo. I don't know if you remember that. That was a big controversy back in the day. Because they basically showed a Killzone 2 trailer that presented itself as if it was real in-game graphics, but it wasn't. But Killzone 3 actually looked like that game that they showed later on. And this game came out 2011. Not only was the single player, you know, the cooperative experience was fun playing with her. You're too young back then. Okay. What was I saying? Yeah, the campaign was fine. It was fun. Not that memorable to me. But the co-op experience was all right. I did platinum the game. It was one of the hardest games I platinumed for the time. Took a lot of grinding. But for me, the multiplayer was really where this game was at. You could play offline with bots to this day, which is cool. But the online multiplayer was like so pristine. It had this mode called Operations where there were different phases that your team had to go through. Like, you had to, like, make it through one phase and then try to get to the second phase and try to get to the third phase. And the opposing team would try to stop you at that phase. But the Operations mode was very, like, involved in the sense that, like, every little thing you did was consequential and you were rewarded for whatever you did to contribute to your team. They would show you, like, as, like, an MVP. They would show you, like, in between phases being, like, a key player in a cutscene. So there were, like, 3, like, cutscenes that would happen in the sense of in the course of the game mode. And you had an opportunity to be in those cutscenes if you performed well enough, or you were the one who was a key role in getting you to that next phase. Like if you did a certain objective. You said, "Is this my favorite Killzone?" It's funny because I still to this day will tell you that Killzone 1 has my favorite campaign, even though it's not co-op. The story to me is a lot more like, I guess, a lot more appealing to me because it's about like a squad of characters that you get to choose your character to play as, so you get to enjoy, to kind of experience. You get to experience the campaign with a lot of replay value because you can play it through the perspective of the different characters, the 4 different characters. And the campaign in the first game left me with the most imagination, the best imagination for where the series can go. And I don't think Killzone 2 and 3 really capture my imagination with the campaign as much, even though the graphics were great and the game and like the gameplay was better. There's still something about the original Killzone that's very close to my heart. Even the online experience was fun, but I think Killzone 3 had a very unique online experience that I would say is like one of my favorite online experiences that I experienced out of any shooter game that I've ever played. Killzone 3 not only had operations mode, it had like regular team deathmatch, but it also had like Warzone, where you were in like a 16 versus 16 like huge multiplayer map where like the map was just like so overly huge um, that that it it really just felt like a war zone. I think Halo actually adopted this game mode later on after Killzone came out with it. Killzone and Halo were kind of like, it's almost like the Crash and Mario where they were kind of like borrowing things from each other. Um, as each like installment would release. But but yeah, Killzone 3, I just have a lot of memories with that game. I met a lot of friends through that game online online that I'm still friends with on my PSN. It's definitely better. It's the finale to the trilogy. It's better than Killzone Shadowfall. I think Killzone Shadowfall still had fun multiplayer, but not as fun as Killzone 3. Killzone 2 had fun multiplayer as well, but I just didn't have as much time to play it. Um, and Killzone 2 is still a game I've never platinumed. I think it's actually the difficulty is actually too hard. If you play, I still haven't beat it on the hardest mode. It's too hard for me, which is saying a lot because I've pretty much every first-person shooter or any shooter game that I've ever owned, I've beat the hardest difficulty. But Killzone 3 was more balanced, I feel. But yeah, I liked it. It was a nice finale to the series. Um, the multiplayer was the best part of it. I like that it had couch co-op in the very least because couch co-op is obviously a dying art form or a dying art mode, artful not art. I keep throwing in the word art, but it's a dying mode. Um, but yeah, that's my number. What is it? Number 5. Um,
All right.
but yeah, that's what I would say. How about you? What would you say is your number 5? You upgrade brand's precision. Cool. Let's remember to craft anything I have to craft before we go into this next one because this is the next one is where I die all the time. Where I've died every single one. Number 5 is Marvel's Spider-Man. Nice. Excellent. This is a game that I wouldn't have played if it didn't come bundled with Miles Morales in the Ultimate Edition for my PS5 purchase. And God, I can't believe I was so late to the game because this is like, in film, the Marvel and the superhero genre in general is very oversaturated. Like, it kind of took over movies to the point where you have like Martin Scorsese saying like it's like amusement park rides and not real cinema. That whole debate where I see his side of I see where he's coming from, but at the same time it's like the genre is worthy of the medium, I'd say, but there is a lot of oversaturation with it. But with video games, you have your superhero games, but I feel like Marvel Spider-Man's like one of the touchstones. Just like say like Batman Arkham Asylum or whatever, but like I feel like Spider-Man like can't feel any more perfect in a video game than Marvel's Spider-Man for me. Or its sequels or guess we'll get stability. You said the game is your first ever platinum trophy. Okay. So did you play it in 2018 when it released, or did you come later to it like I did? I know you didn't come as late to it as I did, but I'm guessing you got it in 2018? Because 2018 was just a big year for games. Like I said, Red Dead Redemption 2, and stuff like that. Like I was already playing that. But you said a friend from school kept on bugging me to get the platinum. The game is amazing. Christmas 2018. Okay. Honestly, like I find all the because I platinumed all the Spider-Mans. Miles Morales 1 and 2. Miles Morales, and 1 and 2. But I felt, yeah, Spider-Man, it's like it was the perfect amount of challenge where you had to like take down those like enemy hideouts and try to be stealthy around it and like zip around the like the route, like the ceiling and everything, and try to, you know, not get caught and stuff like that, and try to like do certain combos uh in a certain way. Like there were little challenges like that that they sprinkled in that was cool. Um, but yeah, the story was fun. Being able to swing around the city of New York, and me living in New York. I don't live in New York City, but I've been to New York City, and it's really cool seeing how accurate a lot of it is. You said the gameplay in Spider-Man felt just right. He actually controls well. Yeah, exactly. You know, like like most of the game for me can just be, you know, swinging around the city. I don't even need to really do objectives. Like it's just fun. You feel like the rush in the same way like the Sam Raimi like uh Spider-Man trilogy accomplished in that it made you feel like you were actually watching Spider-Man in real life in the movies. Whereas this, it's like you feel like you're playing as him. I know that's a kind of a meme saying you really feel like Spider-Man. It comes from that GameSpot reviewer who like basically like every single thing he was saying was like it really makes you feel like Spider-Man, but it really does. Um, you know, not many games get the feel of things right, and you know the functionality and the fluidity and everything like. But they nailed it. Insomniac nailed it. I can't believe you know I played the Spyro series. I came a little later to Ratchet and Clank. I played like iterations of Ratchet and Clank throughout the years, but you know I came to like the trilogy later on. But I played the Resistance trilogy later on when I had PS3. So Insomniac, I was kind of like after Spyro, I kind of fell off and kind of like went, you know, like I caught up with it. Uh, and I remember when it's like when I heard that they were doing Spider-Man, I was like, oh, you know, they're doing like a licensed game now. They're not doing an original IP anymore. Um, so that I remember that being a little like had me of for me it was a little concerning, but I think they're the perfect people for this. I think they're the perfect people because I think you can see a lot of the spirit of Spyro and Ratchet and Clank, like that like you know happy-go-lucky like good friendships type of vibe. Like that's what Spider-Man is to me. Like it's like very positive superhero game. You know, it's not. It can have its dark moments, but it's for the most part a very light-hearted romp. You know the way Peter Parker like has his like corny sense of humor, very similar to like Ratchet and Clank kind of like banter and stuff like that. So I feel like a Spider-Man game coming from Insomniac, it's like right up their alley and what they are used to with like you know with like their dialogue and how they approach characters and stuff. But they did, man, they nailed it. They really did their research on it. Like, I'm not the biggest like comic book connoisseur, but you could tell that like it does what I like when when a comic book is told right in an adaptation, that it makes you want to know more about the source material and know more about like the lore of it. That's when you know that it's a successful uh, installment or creation, because then it's bringing in people from the outside of the comics and intriguing them and kind of getting them immersed, and that's what it did for me. Um, you said I didn't really like the MJ missions. Yeah, especially in the first game, I felt like they were a little too. It wasn't that much to, you know, it was just stealthing around. It's just like, you know, if I'm playing a Spider-Man game, I want to play as Spider-Man. It's like if you made, I don't know, it's like if you had a Tony Hawk game and you get to play as Tony Hawk's wife. Like she's not skateboarding. I mean, maybe she does, I don't know, but it's like okay, we're going to have Tony Hawk's wife like I don't know, go shopping or so. I don't know. Like I feel like I'm being sexist, but MJ, yes, she's very vital to the story. She's not just like, some stay-at-home person or whatever, like she's a like her character is like, she wants to be part of the action. She wants to make a difference. So I like that's relatable and that's something I can get behind. But when it comes to something so extraordinary like a Spider-Man game where you're swinging from building to building and then you're going back to MJ sneaking around a museum to get, I don't know, the scoop on something. Like it's like two games in one, and whether you've signed up for one of the games or not, you might not have. So maybe some people will find the fun factor in it, but you're risking that. You're risking kind of like alienating the audience, I guess. You said, and the soundtrack is godlike. Yeah, the soundtrack is like very Spider-Man. Like it sounds like Spider-Man. I think they nailed it too. I also I think a lot of people criticize this, but I personally liked these. I like the puzzles in Spider-Man. I like the little like kind of puzzles you have to do with like the DNA and like doing all that stuff. Like there's I personally like puzzles in games, and I know that for a lot of people it can be like a hindrance, but I dug them. It kind of like helped distinguish the man behind the mask more. That Peter Parker is a smart scientist and that it kind of helped through gameplay establish his character in a way, and what he does. And then it made the Spider-Man moments more rewarding when you get back to them, I think. But they kind of went hand in hand. I like that. Faster health kits would be good. And aim stability increase. Anything we can do. And I think we're all good here. How do I reload? Is it X? I don't know. I think we're good. He said, yes. Puzzles, I totally didn't look up a guide for. I didn't look up, I mean, like, again, like, I just don't, that's just not how I play. But, I figured them out. I thought they were doable. But to each their own, Okay, so the TV station is a level we've done before, but not... It's going to be tough. So let's try to focus a bit. I think we have everything crafted. We don't have to blame our demise on not having crafted anything. I think our weapons are set. But they do rush at us, I think. Clear each wave. But Marvel Spider-Man 1 from 2018, great pick. I remember being kind of like envious of it when it came out that I wasn't playing it. That I was like, oh, I'm not really a superhero guy or a Marvel guy, but it does sound very intriguing and fun. Okay, so there's dogs. He said, "Oh yes, the gadgets were cool. The stealth is cool. That's my 5." Yes, the gadgets were another big factor to the game too. The stealth, and yeah, I love being able to stealth as Spider-Man. You think, how am I supposed to stealth as Spider-Man? Well, it's like, yeah, you're a Spider-Man. Like, you can be on the ceiling, you can be on the walls, you can shoot from one to the other. Like there was something very fun about that. Shit.
Push in!
Damn it.
Okay, let me heal, please. Don't kill me. Cool.
Fuck this dude. Do a sweep, come on. Trap her down.
There's one more. Let's craft the health kit while we can. But great pick for number 5, by the way. We'll end the list here. I think it's good that we got to talk about the game. I mean, about the show, the first episode of Last of Us Part 2, and get two of our picks off the list out of the way. And then hopefully I can beat this. This will be a first if I can get through this phase. Alright, this is the last person. It looks like we can get her. Hug! Alright, we're all good. See, if it was infected, they'd be all coming after me. And we've been lucky in this run to really not be getting that much infected in this. The dogs run after you, but I can handle them at least. Okay, we got people.
Anyone see a sign of her? Where the fuck did she go, guys? Place is clear.
Gotcha. Beautiful. I think I can do this. Just keep coming down the stairs would be nice. But I don't know, maybe they won't.
It's Mila! She's fucking dead! Everyone fan out, let's go! She can't have gone far!
Oh my god. Is this person coming down the stairs? No, okay, so good. This person's dead. Oh, that was close. Okay. R2 while not aiming to reload. Oh, okay, cool. I've been wondering, like, throughout this whole game, what is actually the reload button.
Gotta be kidding me.
Usually she'll do it on her own, but...
She's killed Maggie! Hunt her down. Fuck. I think I saw her. In here! That's easy. Take it easy. No!
Oh my god. I wonder who the final boss is in this, and yeah, that is a good question. Who the final boss in this game, yeah. I think I have one more wave. Use some more craftables, which I don't see. Do I hear a dog? Do you feel any sense of progress? Sort of. Oh my god.
Cut her off!
god. Oh, that was close. Okay.
Harry, move up!
Damn it.
Fuck! You're fucking dead!
You know what? Do I do it? Oh my god. Hold on.
I'll find you.
Last person.
Okay, where'd you go?
There we go. Encounter complete.
Holy shit.
Let's get as much stuff as we can. Oh my god. Nothing here. Health. Nice job. Thank you. Okay, so now we will see what in the hell we are in for with a boss. I feel like that was a C. Oh, B, okay. I'll take it. The run total, A. Complete 12 encounters with mods. Mods here, fuck. There is trophies for this game, by the way. I have to look at them, but I did see after the first episode that there was a sense of progression with the trophies. So I'm looking forward to that. You can unlock a new boss occurrence by completing challenges. So we did do that, didn't we? Okay, so this will be our last go around. Let's see how this works. And I managed to save my Molotovs, so that's good. Do we have anything else? I guess I can't do anything here. One last go on here. We got some arrows, health kits. The holster would be cool. But let's get some. You know, let's get the holster. Hell, let's just go in hot with some. With that, and yeah, let's get this. I think we're good. Okay, we don't have another gun though, of course. Everything looks crafted for now, and then I just want to check my pills. What can I do? Invincibility, hold breath. I guess that's all I can offer for this. Okay. Oh, I can do more. Faster aim movement. That's good. And I guess that's it. Okay. Can I reload? R2 reloads. Okay. Maybe this time we'll start. I don't know what what the boss is gonna be. I don't even know if it's just like the boss. Arcade bloater. Oh, it's the arcade bloater. Now, are they gonna throw in more enemies around the bloater that I have to take out? All right, let's try it. This shall be interesting. Boss battle.
Fuck.
Got shotgun going. No! No! Please, please, please! Oh my god. I have to kill these guys. Oh my god, oh my god. I should put some trap mines down, that'd be nice. No! Oh my god, okay, so... That was tough. I mean, I was throwing like everything at it, but it had a lot of health. The bloater. But we got farther than we ever did. I'm proud of that. I'm also interested what kind of rewards I might get at the end of this. Let's see, after getting this far. Because this is the farthest we ever got. 5 runs, game mode holdout mode. What's that? Game mode capture mode. Oh, that's the next one. So I got holdout mode. I don't even know what that is. Holdout mode. Or new mods. Mods tier, stealth kills, boost, movement speed, Molotov rain, time limit, mirror mode. Oh, so I'm like unlocking like little mods to it. That's why I got that mirror mode before. These new mods will appear in future runs. Okay. So that's some sense of progression. New game mode, holdout mode. In holdout, you and an ally will be attacked by a swarm of infected. Use the supplies in the area to set up your defense. Oh, so it's kind of like Call of Duty Zombies mode, like back in the day. You will fail the encounter if your ally is killed. Ah, that's interesting. So it's basically an escort, not an escort, but like protect your ally, your NPC. This new game mode will appear in future runs, so I'll have the choice or not to play it, I think. And I guess that's what we got. Okay, so we'll call it there. Next episode we'll come back after episode 2 of The Last of Us Part 2, or The Last of Us HBO series airs on. So that'll probably be on Monday. Do you think you'll be able to watch it on Sunday, or just let me know if you haven't seen it, and I can always wait, you know. But yeah. Other than that, you say you'll watch it on time, okay? Yeah, and then we can talk about it. And yeah. Other than that, you can, I guess, you can subscribe to Kev Plays 9490 on YouTube, and follow me on Twitter at Let's Watch Series. Thanks everyone for watching, by the way, and I appreciate it. And yeah, other than that, stay safe, stay healthy, keep a clear head, and keep on gaming. And I will catch you all next time. Papa Pig, it's been a pleasure. Peace out.